Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 58. It's Tuesday
It is.
in January, second week in January already. So we are back in full force to work. Unfortunately, we have to work 5 days in a row.
Yeah, back to work.
Which is bad. Not bad, but it's hard to get used to.
I should have put my suit jacket on.
You could have worn your suit jacket.
Just to show that we're back at work.
Although I dressed casually today, so I was a sporty Jen today.
By the way, I'm 58.
That's true.
So.
Episode 58 and you're 58.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just kind of getting back in the swing of things of working a full week back to after the holidays. It's nice to have the time off, but then it's hard to get going.
I'm looking at the camera and we're way over to one side.
Should I move closer to you?
No, you should move further. I'll move like that though, so that's
okay.
Yeah.
Better.
There you go. Yeah.
We could be like right next to each other.
This is what happens when you're like OCD and you're like, because we record it on an iPad, we can see it the whole time.
And we're trying to always center it to this window and the radiator, and it
make it level, and the floors aren't level.
And we don't want the curtains in there, so it's a whole.
Hey, the curtains aren't in there.
I know.
I just realized that.
They're kind of, the windows in this house are really large, so we've actually had they came with the window coverings, which we've never changed because it's super long. I don't really know what to pick anyway, but it's kind of like the fabric of a movie theater, like screen.
It's like red velvet.
It is.
Oh yeah, like the curtain in front of that's true. And the funny thing is the windows are big, but it's really dark in the front of the house anyway.
And this is another thing, and for my friends who are in interior design, I don't know if this is a thing or not. I should know this for watching other things. And I'm not sure why they did this, but the actual curtains start from the ceiling. There's probably, I'm looking at it now, there's probably like at least a half a foot between.
No. I think it's at least 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet. You mean over the top of the window? So there's
here's the end of the window, and then they have the curtains starting from almost the ceiling.
And we imagine that people to be really tall, but we've met them and they're short.
Exactly.
And so you have to sit there to close the curtains. You have to kind of shake them back.
Or I've climbed on the chair on top of the radiator and then put
Thankfully, the radiator by the front windows is covered.
Yeah.
Which our former cat loved because we would put his bed up there and he would sleep in the heat. Or in the summer, we'd open the window so he could sit and watch the squirrels.
Have the wind come on in. Speaking of, we're expanding our family. No, we're not having more kids. We thought about it.
No, wait a second. Just pause that for a moment. What if we adopted someone who was like first in their class in medical school?
Okay.
Like a child prodigy, like a Doogie Howser, who's about to go off to make millions and millions of dollars.
And then they can take care of us.
Exactly.
Okay, well, maybe we'll look into that.
Yeah. There's got to be some adoptable child out there who's like, I don't want a kid who's like the normal age of medical school because they'd already be an adult. I want someone who's like, like a 16-year-old child prodigy who's in medical school. We can help him out with his bills, and then he'll feel forever, or she, obviously. That was ignorant of me to say me. They, because you can use they as a singular.
That's true.
They would feel indebted to us for coming to their rescue, and they would take care of us in our dotage.
There you go.
But that's not why you called, as David Letterman used to say.
Right. So as some of you have known, if you watched some of our earlier episodes, is we recently had a cat pass away in September of last year that we had for a very long time, 15 years. Smokey.
Since he was just able to leave his mother.
Yeah, so the kids knew the mom cat and saw him being born and all that stuff. So we had Smokey forever, and unfortunately in the spring, he was doing really bad. My sister-in-law, Dave's sister, who's a vet, brought him back to life, and we enjoyed him the whole summer. He was back to normal, and then took a turn, and there was really nothing we could do for him. So, unfortunately, Smokey passed away. We had two other cats that they passed away 2 years ago at Christmas. One on Christmas Day.
It was 3 years ago. It was
Oh, it was three years ago.
2017.
Oh my gosh.
One died Christmas night.
We adopted those cats together and from our local animal care league. And so we had them for a really long time. They were found together. We adopted them together because we didn't want to separate them. And then one was getting sick around Thanksgiving. He passed away late on Christmas Day. And then the other one, I think from a broken heart, wasn't sick at all, died 10 days later. So it was just like a huge tragedy over that holiday season.
Well, if he was, he probably was sick, but he hid it, which is something cats do, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we didn't know.
So we've been out without a cat for several months and just decided, why don't we bring more cats into our lives? So we
had a family meeting.
We had a family meeting. Of course, our kids were like, yes.
Jennifer scared the kids by texting him, "We need to talk." Everyone...
meet in the
I
den.
thought it was going to be an intervention.
Yeah, it's always like, we need to talk to you guys. It's like, what?
You didn't even... I said intervention and you didn't even like...
yeah, that could be a thing.
Sure, that's going to be this weekend.
Yeah.
Not last weekend.
But anyway, so we looked at our local animal shelter. We got the other two a long time ago and just kind of like looked at the cats that were available. And just to see what our options are. So we filled out an application today, and then they did email us back for more information, so we're going to do that later. And then hopefully we will be able to, whatever we get, bring them home before Claire goes back to college, so in a couple weeks. So fingers crossed that it works out. But two that we saw together, David saw on the website, are two black cats. And they're named Queso and Fundito.
Right.
Which I thought was fun. And they're actually a mom and daughter. They were found together. Super cute. And apparently a lot of people don't like to adopt black cats because they're superstitious. We're not. We're not even a little stitious.
I knew you were going to say that, Michael Scott.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm not superstitious.
I'm just a little stitious.
I might be a little stitious. We just saw that too, and I can't quite remember how he said it. Yeah, so one of them is a little over 2 years old, obviously the mother. And, well, not obviously, because you don't know what the other one is, but the other's about 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. So they look from the picture to be about the same size.
They do, and obviously since they're mother and daughter, they're probably going to get along.
It says that they are calm and dog savvy.
Oh.
So
we're not getting a dog.
Yeah.
And we don't really want an older cat just because, that's just a shorter life that we get to have it. And we've just experienced a tragic loss. So I don't want to do that anytime soon. And I don't think we want kittens. It's because a lot of people like kittens. So there's always that in between cat.
Right. And I mean, it would be great to have kittens, except that it's a lot more... well, work isn't really the right word because cats are a lot easier to manage than dogs, but there are more issues with them. They're needier.
And there's so many places in the house that a tiny kitten could hide. It would be like, where are they?
They'll hide it. I mean, they'll hide anyway because that's what they do when they're in a new place. But
so we're thinking about getting two, just so that they have a pal when we go to sleep, because we don't typically, we keep our bedroom doors shut whenever we've had an animal.
This is a family show, so we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, and so they're not climbing on our bed and stuff like that. So we thought it would be nice if they had a friend to roam around the house with when we're sleeping.
But we're around all the time, so it's not like they're going to be lonely. So we could probably, one would probably be okay, but I'm fine with two.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with two as well. And who knows, these cats that we saw may not be available, or there might be other ones that they have that we haven't seen yet. Luckily, for these ones, didn't they say that we could come in and look at them in person?
I think what they said was that some of their pets, and they have dogs and cats, and they have rabbits, and they have other things. Sometimes they're in foster families, and if that's the case, then you have to kind of do it by Zoom. But if the ones that are present, part of the issue, I'm kind of backing up a little bit. Part of the issue with the shelter is that because of COVID, they don't have as much. They don't have as many people who are currently. The personnel is down. It's been a long 2 days this week already. I can't even talk. They don't. They have a reduced staff. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And for a while, I think they only did things by probably not Teams, but Zoom or whatever. Like they would interview people and they'd hold up the cat. Here's the cat, or
right,
the dog, or whatever. But they do so they tried to get pets into foster homes in the meantime because they had fewer people physically in the shelter to take care of them. So some of their dogs and cats are with foster families. Some of them are in the shelter. The ones that are in the shelter, they will actually make an appointment for you to go and see them in person.
Yeah.
But the ones that are being fostered, you do it over video conference. And actually, that's interesting because there's a big shelter in the city of Chicago called One Tail at a Time. That was, there are many, obviously, shelters in the city, but they used to be mostly or maybe exclusively dogs. But in the last year or so, they started to also bring in cats. But I looked on their website, and I think currently all of their animals are in foster homes.
Oh, wow.
And, with dogs, they do that. And I suppose with cats too. But a lot of the fostering is not just to have someone feed them and care for them, but it's also to get them, especially with dogs, get them used to being in a family with people and sometimes with other pets.
Yeah, and I also wasn't thinking like they only have a limited capacity
right.
also, so it's not like they can jam
right.
as many things. So I never thought about that.
But yeah, it is. It's true. With cat, because sometimes the cats they take in are feral or at least have been, not around a lot of people or a lot of other pets. So sometimes they just need to kind of get used to that whole routine.
And the ones that we saw were found in November, and so they've just been like introducing them to being around people and getting more comfortable until they think that now they're at a good spot where they could be adopted.
And I don't have a strong preference, but
I don't either.
I would probably prefer maybe a year or two old, just in that range. But we're willing to see what the
Of course,
options
there's
are.
one on there that looks exactly like a miniature Smokey, like a brand new Smokey.
Yeah,
so that it's just like that would be almost too hard to.
it almost might be, although I'm sure we could.
They would grow.
I'm sure we could get over the
similarity.
The similarity, but it is kind of an emotional thing. That's why it's funny because I was sort of reluctant to bring it up.
And I was too, just because it's like it's a lot of work, and it's like it's we're kind of taking a break kind of thing, and just to introduce that. So I was also thinking on the same line. So as soon as David brought it up, I'm like, yes.
Well, and it wasn't like I kind of figured that eventually we would get around to talking about it, but with our youngest at home from college, but heading back in a few weeks, it was sort of like, is it time to do it now, or maybe wait till she comes back in the spring and then, or do it over the summertime or something like that. And of course, hopefully things will be a little less crazy with the pandemic by this summer, but who knows?
I know.
I don't know. I have like, it's not really a matter of being pessimistic or whatever. I nothing is going to surprise me as far as this goes.
So just be ready for whatever.
Right. So I figure, but one advantage too to getting a cat from a shelter is along the same lines, or a dog for that matter, is that they've been cared for. They've had a vet look at them and check them out, and they've gotten whatever inoculations they have to have and all that sort of thing.
Right.
So that it does reduce the, it's not like you get the cat or the dog and then you say, well, I got to take them to the vet right away, get them looked at, or they need shots, or they need this, or they need that. A lot of that stuff is already taken care of. So that's one advantage.
Definitely.
I would go to a shelter regardless, but
yeah, we totally would. And we already thought like we still have Smokey's bed over there, and of
We
like
should
getting rid of
yeah.
that and then getting brand new stuff
We should
so
have
that there's
new-
no. I mean, they'll probably smell that there was a cat here at some point, but
Yeah.
it won't be like it'll be brand new to them.
So we have a lot of things on the agenda, not to talk about tonight, but we have to do that. We still have to, we're still working on the tattoo thing.
Right, the guy never emailed us back, so we
Well,
might have to-
let's not badmouth the
Yeah.
person. I mean, it's the holidays, but
It is.
we need to follow up or find someone else to do it.
Right.
Because now we're stuck. Now we have to
we
do
cannot
it.
back down.
We can't back out. So we did make contact with
6 months later, we're still checking it out.
Yeah. Right. See, that would be like on House Hunters, where they have the people who've taken, you know,
The worst.
most of the episodes, at least they pretend that the people are just they're they've just started looking or whatever. But every so often there's that episode where they tell you the backstory and the people have been looking for like a year and a half, and the broker on the show has shown these people supposedly shown these people
So many-
100 homes.
Yes.
And they're still looking. So we could have a reality show where we're looking for someone to do our tattoos.
Just keep it
We
going.
never actually get the tattoos.
Yeah.
We just keep going from shop to shop to shop. And the people who own the shop, they'd be just good advertising for them. So it could be tattoo hunters.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. But we're definitely gonna do it. We're not backing out of that. That's hilarious. We should do that. But yeah, we are doing that. And then what else do we have going on?
Well, Claire's going back to
Oh yeah,
school.
Claire's going back to school in a couple weeks.
So those three things, between those three things, cat, tattoo, daughter going back to school, it's more than I can handle. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to need to take another few weeks off.
Yeah, I think I need a break after that.
And I've already taken the Friday off when we're taking her back to school.
Yeah,
that
David and
weekend.
I, for some reason, we both of our companies have President's Day off, which is odd. Or Martin Luther King, and we have
Well,
Martin Luther King
Day is
and
not odd because a lot of companies
yeah,
do.
that one is normal, but President's Day usually is like for schools, kind of thing. But so we have those 2 days off.
But I think they do that. I think that's what it is. I think is where you've got international companies that are trying to figure out, there's different holidays in different countries.
And making it fair.
Right. And we also, the mental health day, the World Mental Health Day thing that we had in October, we had talked about that in another episode. My company gave us, I think it was a Friday off back in October and to observe, I guess, World Mental Health Day. That's a permanent thing now.
Nice.
So we'll have another day off in October. The problem is that you go from, we're lucky we'll have the Martin Luther King holiday, then we'll have President's Day. Those are about a month apart or 4 weeks apart. And then there's that long stretch before you hit Memorial Day.
Yeah. And usually, like, at least this past year, we were going to take a week off for our anniversary. Obviously, that never happened because we couldn't travel. And then we've gone to New Orleans on our anniversary. Can't do that.
Yeah.
So we did have taken time out in between around our anniversary, which is fun, in the beginning of March.
And we can do that again, but we probably still won't be able to go anywhere.
Right.
So.
We can have a picnic in the backyard.
Right. My thought, my what I had recommended for tonight was we were just going to talk about getting back to work, but this turned out to be much better because who cares about? Well, we care. We love our jobs.
Yeah, we love our jobs
deeply. We're the most dedicated,
so happy,
and motivated employees, but no one wants to hear about that.
Yeah.
So this was much better.
So hopefully in the next few days we'll get clarification of what the cat situation is. So we'll be able to update you on the next episode and let us know what you think about that.
And we already know that the shelter because we got cats from them before, so we can already give them a sterling.
And it's literally like a 2-minute drive from our house, so it's very close. So we're excited about that. So that's our news for tonight. We'll definitely fill you in on Thursday how it's going and the updates there. But hope you guys have a good rest of the night, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.